I just sent the worst email I've ever had to send. It was filled with silly pictures and dumb videos of one of my oldest friends, Timmy Wood. The reason for sending them is what makes it the worst. Tim died suddenly on May 14th of heart failure, and the email I was sending was to contribute material to the memorial show Upright Citizens Brigade New York was putting together for him. Tim and his wife Julie, also one of my oldest friends and who I co-founded Bootown with, both worked and performed with UCB for years. Timmy and I didn't talk much anymore, although we did exchange messages 2 days before his death because of my birthday, which made this walk down memory lane extra special. I often reflect on Bootown's beginning, but I don't often obsessively scroll through old pictures and videos. I hadn't thought about Tim and Julie's wedding in years, probably, but now as I went through all my old files, as well as those that others had sent through this morbid email chain, I remembered that whole silly weekend like it was yesterday. It was easy to get caught up in the fun memories and forget why I was going through everything. I pretty much forgot until I had to type that email, explaining who I was and the backstory behind each photo and video. This isn't a story about me, though. This is a story about Timmy Wood. Tim loved movies. During the time we lived together, he had several 24-hour themed movie marathons. The only theme I could remember was blaxploitation, but I'm sure other themes were just as great. When Tim asked if I would attend, and even though I lived in the same house where the event would take place, I said, fuck no. Staying up 24 hours to watch movies did not sound like my idea of a good time. Plus, I had work and all. But Tim still managed to get a crowd, albeit small, to participate in this goofy event. I don't know anyone else who could have convinced 10 friends to come over for not one, but several 24-hour movie marathons. Maybe I just don't know that many people who would actually try. But Tim was never afraid of trying. We also worked at Starbucks together. Sometimes we worked the same opening shift, which meant a stunning start time of 4:15 a.m. I don't know about you, but the first thing I want when I wake up is a giant glass of water to rehydrate myself. Maybe apple juice, and that's only because I had it available at work. Not Tim, though. Tim drank every morning a Trinity glass ice-cold milk. That's 30 ounces, everyone. And he gulped it down in one take. It makes my stomach hurt just to think about it. I became so concerned with his milk intake that I brought this up to Julie, and she agreed he did drink an alarming amount of milk, but that he also didn't eat that much, and it was a good source of calories and nutrition for him. Fair. While working there, we also started a TV pilot called Space Baristas about a coffee shop on an international space station named Starbeans. I revisited it recently, and my favorite part is that the manager was a robot named Ernie the Bossbot. I was sad when Tim quit that job, only because it meant we wouldn't have that guaranteed time together. Even if it was for only a handful of hours every week, and even though we would be covered in steamed milk and smell like stale espresso and be grumpy about customers who were even grumpier, it was nice to know that you were there with one of your bestest, funniest friends, and that always made things better. Once when my relationship with my long-term boyfriend was on the rocks, Tim told me I should break up with him because I made him a sandwich and he didn't eat it or say thank you. This was a 100% serious recommendation, but to be fair, Tim was very serious about sandwiches. It was a really great sandwich. I toasted the bread and everything. I just loved that of all the things that were wrong with our relationship, it was the sandwich that was Tim's final straw, what made him unable to hold his tongue any longer. We got a dog when we lived together, a tiny female miniature wiener dog he named Hobbs. I was pretty pissed when he got her. Julie came in and said, "We have a surprise!" And she handed me some adoption paperwork, and I immediately said, "Get ready to clean up some piss and shit." For someone who loves animals so much, I have no idea why I reacted so negatively. I do know that Hobbs went on to eat through every pair of my underwear she could find and chewed up my favorite belt. So maybe there's something to be said for a woman's intuition. Tim is the only person I've ever made one of those "we'll get married if we're both single by the age of 40" pacts. Now that he's dead, I guess I'll just be alone forever. So thanks for that, Tim. I can officially blame you for my inevitable spinsterhood. Also, I have to say that Grown Up Storytime was Tim's idea. Actually, now that I think about it, the name Bootown was Tim's idea, too. How Bootown got its name is a dumb story I won't go into, but the fact that Gus is still going 9 years later is such a great monument to him. And these are just stories that spanned a few years, college, and into Bootown's first couple of years. Tim and Julie have been living in New York for 8 years or something like that, and they have so many new stories I don't even know about. Hopefully Tim kept a journal, and someone will find it in 50 years from now and publish them as his memoir so we can all hear them. A lot of people had really great words to say about what Tim meant to them in the weeks after his death. I wish I could do that too, but that doesn't sound very comforting to me. Instead, I'm more comfortable remembering the kind of person he was and the times we shared. I hope I never forget them. Also, group hug here. Everyone go get a physical and talk to your family about their medical history. Go ahead and quit smoking and lay off the donuts while you're at it. We're all going to die someday, probably alone too, because I'm feeling extra dark right now. But let's spend as much time together as we can before that happens.